Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. For those of you new, I'm Jeanette. I'm Jeanette from Boricua Sewing and Crafts. In this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be filling a customer order, and the customer ordered dinner napkins. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about dinner napkins, how I make them, what I use, and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so usually for dinner napkins, I usually do these with frame designs. Frame designs are embroidery designs that are kind of like in a round shape, a square shape, an oval shape, and they're usually decorative shapes. And then what I do is I just add the initial on them. And I'm going to switch you over to my computer so that you can see exactly what I am talking about. So I'm turning you over a little bit, and I want to make sure that you guys can see exactly what I am showing on the computer. And as you can see right here, this is, and I'm going to expand the camera just a little bit because I want to make sure you guys can see it. Let me make sure. Sorry, guys. All right. Well, I know, yeah, I can see that you guys can see it. Okay. So as you can see right here, what's around the letter T is actually an embroidery design. And usually what you can do is you can do a search on Etsy or any of the other embroidery websites that sell designs. And what you're going to be looking for is you're going to be looking for frames. So what you want to do is when you do the search, do embroidery design frames. And you're going to have a whole bunch of selections to choose from. And this is one that that a customer is requesting. And what I usually do is you just take a letter, and it doesn't have to be a block letter. It can be script if you like. And what you can do is you can also put little writings in there too if you want to put small fonts. But that's usually how I create these. So anyway, I want to talk to you guys about how I actually go about making them. Now, of course, you know, this is pretty simple. It's just a embroidery frame, and then I just add the initial. And of course, you're going to need embroidery software to do this. Or if you have the SC1900, what you can do is you can add any of the fonts that come with your machine, and you can actually add that to the design as well if you want to. Okay, if you don't have embroidery software, you can do, that's another option you can probably do. And I think you can probably do that with a lot of embroidery machines, the flatbeds. So anyway, moving forward, let's go back to the cutting table, and I want to talk to you guys about the dinner napkins, okay? All right, so here we are at the cutting table, and I'm going to be talking to you about the dinner napkins and what type of dinner napkins I use and why I select them. These are usually, they're a combination blend, okay? These, let me look at the label so that I can show you guys, okay? Which ones I actually use. So I usually get my dinner napkins from, you can get them from Amazon, you can get them from Target, you can get them from Walmart, okay? And usually if you look at the blend, okay, I'm not really particular about brand, okay? You can pick this brand if you want to. However, though, I mostly am it's very important for me to make sure that I got the right blend, okay? So as you can see, this is 52% cotton, and it's here it is, 52% cotton. Sorry, guys. Ugh. All right, sorry about that. I'm still working on trying to do camera stuff, and I don't think it's focusing. But anyway, it reads 52% cotton and 45% polyester. Now, why do I want a mixed blend? Well, first of all, when you're embroidering, what you're doing is you're adding a lot of stitches to your material, okay? So you don't want a material that is going to be like really super thin, and you don't want something that's going to be very flimsy, okay? Especially when it comes to dinner napkins, because dinner napkins, people are going to use them often. They're going to use them to wipe their mouths and stuff like that, and they're also going to be putting them in the wash a lot. So getting good quality dinner napkins to embroider, very, very, very important. Don't, you know, if anything, do not skip out on this, okay? So make sure that you have a good combination blend of dinner napkin, okay? Make sure there's some cotton in there. And also make sure that there is some kind of thickness to it too. You don't really want a type of dinner napkins, you can see through it, but you don't want it to be like so super see-through, because if it's super see-through, that means that it's pretty thin. And if it's pretty thin, then, you know, sometimes it may be a little hard to embroider. You may end up getting a lot of puckering and stuff like that. You want to try to avoid that, okay? Even if you get away with not having it pucker too much when you have it embroidered, chances are that if the material is too thin and they go ahead and they wash it and then they put it in the dryer and stuff like that, it's going to crunch up and pucker it. You don't want a customer coming back to you saying that they're dissatisfied with it because they say that it's like a one-time use item. Okay, you're making these dinner napkins so they can use them all the time. So, as you guys know, I do sell dinner napkins on my shop, and let me also show you what I actually do. So, I usually buy these dinner napkins like in packs of 12. Okay. Now, when I get them, I take them out of the box, and then what I strongly recommend you do is you iron them. Because they are wrapped up in the package, a lot of times they fold these dinner napkins, and then when you take them out, it has the crease of the fold. You don't want to have that crease of the fold in the dinner napkin before you embroider. You want to get rid of that, okay? So highly recommend you make sure you get a good iron, one with steam, and you want to steam and iron all of these dinner napkins. You want to get rid of as much of the crease as possible, especially in the area that you plan on embroidering, okay? Now, another thing that I usually tell people to do, which is a pretty good idea, is if you are selling these, or even if you're making them as a gift for a friend, because these actually make really cute gifts for events like birthdays or weddings. You can also gift them if somebody purchased a home. These are really popular for Thanksgiving. If you're going to gift them as a friend, one of the things that a lot of people don't think about is putting tags in their items, okay? Now, I actually put tags on my items. I do have two types of tags. Let me see if I can get the other one that I have. I don't think I have it handy. I do have two types of tags. I got one type of tag as a gift, and I guess I don't have it handy. Sorry about that. But let me show you the type of tags that I use for my actual shop, okay? And as a matter of fact, let me use the same one because I've already put this on here. One of the things that I do is that I actually have these made. Now, you can make them yourself if you want, but for me, I find that it's more economical and also better if I just send them out to have these made. They are pretty inexpensive. It's not a big deal. I usually get them for, I think it's about like $80 for 1,000 of them. And that kind of lasts me for about almost a year. Okay, so on each single dinner napkin, before I embroider it, and I go ahead and I iron it nice, get all the creases out as much as possible, I go to my sewing machine and I sew on these tags. Now, why do I do that? Well, I sell these, okay? So if I'm giving them as a gift, I do have a tag that actually says made by Jeanette. That way, when I give it to a friend, they'll always remember who made these for them. Also, I sell these dinner napkins on Etsy, and it's really important for me to brand my items for the simple fact that when somebody buys something from an Etsy shop, a lot of times they don't really remember the actual shop that they purchased the item from. When someone asks them, where did you get that from? The answer usually, I think 95% of the time is going to be, well, I think I got it. I know I got it from a shop on Etsy. They're not going to remember the actual name of the shop that they purchased it from Etsy. They usually just remember the platform. So a good way to make sure that your shop is always remembered for the item that they purchased is to actually brand the item that you sell. So I usually do this for all my kitchen towels. I do it for all my dinner napkins. I do it also for hats, anything that I sell off my Etsy shop. If I can add a label to it, I do it. So just a little hint, especially for you guys that sell on Etsy. Remember, a lot of times people, what they do is they refer to the platform. They don't actually refer to your actual shop as the actual name. Okay, so just something for you to think about. as you're selling your items on Etsy. All right, so as I said, I usually take a pack. Okay, this customer ordered 6, so I have 6 of them right here. I've already ironed them. I do have 2 that I still have to sew the labels on. So I'm actually going to take you to my Etsy 1900. I'm going to actually show you how I sew these on. They're pretty simple, very straightforward, but there is a functionality on the Etsy 1900 that I use a lot in order to sew them, and some of you guys may not know about that little button. So I'm going to take you over to the sewing machine and let's talk about how I actually add these tags, okay? Okay guys, here we are at my machine, and one of the things that I want to do is I want to actually show you guys 2 buttons on this machine that I use that a lot of people either they don't know about it or they really don't use it as often as they should. Okay, now I want to look at this area right here, which is on this screen, okay? And I'm going to be pointing out 2 buttons on here that I'm going to be pressing. And as you can see right here, okay, where my pointer is going, right underneath, you have this reverse stitch and you also have this cut stitch. What I want this to do is I want it to automatically, when I hit the back stitch, okay, which is this button right here, I want it to automatically back stitch, and then I want it to cut. In order to have the machine automatically do that for me so that I don't have to hold this back stitch button throughout the whole back stitch process and then also hit the cut button, all I have to do is just turn this on. So I would highlight this and I would highlight this together, okay? And what it's going to do is it's going to automatically just backstitch and cut when I just touch this button. All I have to do is just press this once and it's going to automatically backstitch it and it's going to cut it for me. I don't have to hold down this button, and I also don't have to hit the button to cut the thread either. All right, so I'm going to get the dinner napkin that I have left, okay, that I need to to sew on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up my presser foot, and then I'm using my knee lifter on here. You guys don't know what that is. Sorry guys, I really need to get a new tripod because this one is not holding as it should. And I'm hoping, yeah, it's not holding. Sorry guys. All right, I'm going to have to invest in one of these. Okay, all right, gotcha. All right, so this is actually the knee lifter. For those of you guys that don't know, okay, that's this thing that right here. And I like using that because I get to push my knee on this and it lifts the presser foot up and down. For those of you that are new and have this machine and really don't know what that gadget is for, just don't feel bad. I didn't know either. And at first I was thinking, oh, who needs that? But I will tell you this, after you do a couple of these, that knee lifter does come handy. All right, so I'm going to be lifting this up, and it looks like I lost my my tag, so I'm going to get another one. Here we go. All right, and I'm going to put my tag right on here, and I'm going to lay down my presser foot. Okay, I just line it up with the tag where I actually wanted to go ahead and sew. Now, I don't have my my foot hooked up to it, okay? I just have the button, which is this. Okay, I don't have this hooked up. I took it off because I really don't need it for this type of process, even though I do like to sew with that. So I have this machine kind of like on the medium speed also. So what I do is I just press this button, the yellow to look, to go ahead and sew. And then I press this to stop. Okay, let me see, there you go. And now it's going to start to see, and it back stitches by itself. As you notice, I did not hit the reverse stitch button. Now I'm going to stop it, and when I hit that button to stop it, it just stops. But I wanted to back stitch and cut the needle, so all I have to do is just hit that reverse button once. And if you see it, back stitches, front stitches, cut, done. Okay, so I just really wanted to show you this feature. It's a feature that the Brother SC1900 has. A lot of people don't use it, and I really think it's beneficial, so I just wanted to put it out there. Now, when I am doing my dinner napkins, as you can see, sometimes you can have some loose thread on here on the front and on the back. What I usually do is make sure you get some snips or some scissors, but make sure you cut those off, okay? It's because especially if you are selling these, you don't want loose threads hanging out everywhere, okay? So there you go. So this is the step on how I actually brand my items, all right? So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start hooping these so that I can start embroidering. Okay, guys, let's talk about the hooping part. But before we talk about that, I do want to mention one thing that, you know, it should be a given, but you just never know. Some people just don't think about it. Let me just lower this a little bit and so that I can show you. Okay, now, you know, when we were talking about, you know, sewing the label, okay, one of the things that's really good is make sure you have thread. The thread that you're using kind of matches the same color as your dinner napkin. You don't want to like add like a whole other color. I mean, white could be okay to add to do that, but I usually try to use thread that matches the dinner napkin. So it's just something that I just wanted to throw out there, okay? Now, for hooping and stuff, one of the things that I like to use is I like to use tearaway stabilizer for the dinner napkins. This is a medium weight, which is a 1.8 ounce, and it's from Brother Reed. I usually get these off of Amazon. They're pretty inexpensive. It's not, you know, that much. I do end up buying the pre-cut. That way I don't have to worry about it. I do usually like to buy my stabilizer in the rolls so that way I can cut them myself. But I do so many dinner napkins and stuff that this size is perfect. So I usually get the 8x8 size pre-cut of the stabilizer for these dinner napkins, okay? So now I'm going to move over to the hooping station, all right? And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about how I actually hoop this for the multi-needle, but I'm also going to mention to you guys for the 5x7 as well, all right? So let me grab a 5x7 hoop and let me bring it over to you guys for those that have single needles, okay, machines. I don't want anybody to be left out, and I don't want you guys to try to be scratching your head trying to figure this out. Okay, so when it comes to the 5x7 hoop, this stabilizer really is not going to work too well for you. Okay, you're going to need something that's a little bigger because if you look, this is the 8x8, and as you can see, it's not really going to fit in well. Okay, so what I usually do for this though is I use sticky stabilizer. All right, let me get some sticky stabilizer so that you can see which ones I use and how I would go about using it. So I usually get it by the roll, okay, and it is an 8.5, but it's a roll. And then usually what I'll do is I kind of measure it this way. All right, and I want to make sure that you guys can see exactly how I am demonstrating it and you guys can see everything. Okay, awesome. Let me take this out of the way because we're focusing on these single needle machines. So usually what I'll do is this is sticky stabilizer. I prefer to use sticky stabilizer with the dinner napkins because I float them. So what I usually do, and I'm not really going to do it, but I'm going to show you a little bit, is what I would do is I'll take the sticky stabilizer, I will cut enough that I need, and then I would actually take this stabilizer with the part that's sticky. I don't peel this off yet, okay? I really don't, because you can, you know, this is the, I don't peel it off and then hoop it, okay? I just leave it like this. See, this is the sticky part. So what I do is I cut this, then I would take my hoop, okay? Take the bottom of the hoop. I would hoop this, okay? Put this in here, and then hoop it like this, you know. All right, I'm putting this in here just so you guys can see. All right, so then usually this is a better way really that I prefer to do it. I usually cut it after I have it in the machine. Then I would take some scissors and I would just cut right here. Okay, that way you're not like cutting too much of it. You're cutting just enough that you need. Once you have this in your hoop, right, what I usually do is I take a seam ripper, okay? I'll take my seam ripper, and then what I'll do is I will mark an X, and then I will just peel off the cover, which will expose the sticky side. After I do that, then what I do is I measure my dinner napkin, okay, to the corner that I'm going to use. And what I usually do is I kind of like measure about an inch above, and then like I'll just put like a little, you know, once I have that inch, I know that I take it, I kind of pinch it, and then I know that that part that I pinch goes right here, and it's right in the middle, okay, right at the bottom of this. And then what I'll do is I'll take the rest of it and I just smooth it out. Now, because this is sticky stabilizer, this napkin will stick to the stabilizer, and then all you have to do is then take this over to the embroidery machine and then just embroider it. And then once you're done, you just take it right out, okay? So those of you guys that have the single needle machine, this is how you would do it, okay? Now, of course, I'm going to do this on my multi-needle machine because I'm going to have both machines running at the same time. That way, when I can get them done a lot quicker, and yeah, so that way I can do my thing and get them done because there are 6 of them. All right. For the multi-needle machine, I'm going to move this over to the side. I use my hooping station. I have these extenders that come with the hooping station. And if you guys are interested in the hooping station, I do have the information in the video description of how you can order one of these. I recommend calling them, making sure you let them know what machine you have, okay? And that way you can order the right one, okay? Now, they also have a hooping station for the flatbed machines, okay? So, you know, if you can do it the old-fashioned way, but you can use the hooping station for the flatbed machines also if you have it, okay? But give them a call. I also have a video showing how to use this for the SC1900, but the one that's for the SC1900. I have it in the other room, but I'm going to show you guys how to do this right now because this video could get kind of long. Okay, so how I'm going to do this is I got the extender, so that way I'm using my 5x5 hoop. This is my tearaway stabilizer. I'm only going to use one, and I'm going to put this on here. I really like these mighty hoops because they really do hold everything nicely in place. And then the way that I do it is I usually look at where I have my tag, and where I have my tag, I want it out there. I want it opposite of where I have the tag, okay? So usually what I'll do is I will line it up in a particular way, okay? So that way they are all aligned the same way. Once I have that, I just go ahead and I just hoop it. And as you can see, very easy to do. I take it out. I'm good to go. I'm ready to take it to my machine, okay? So I'm going to hoop up another one, and then we're going to head to the machine. I'm going to stitch it out, and let's see how they come out. Okay, here we are at the machine, and I'm going to put this in the hoop, and then let's talk about the file on the screen and how I actually embroider this. So I'm going to move this up so that you guys can see. As you can see, this is the design, and I do flip it upside down because of the way that I put this in the hoop, okay? This is the actual corner, okay? The corner is that way. This is the rest of the napkin, all right? So I do place it upside down. Another thing that I want to emphasize, you know, this is a very detailed design, as you can see. All right, so one of the things that I want to tell you guys is when you are doing dinner napkins, I really recommend using a fresh needle in the beginning of the project. Sorry, I'm going to be embroidering about 6 of them. I've already have most of them embroidered. I waited to the last one. That way you guys can see the whole process of how I actually do it. When I hit embroider, another thing that I want to mention to you guys, I want you to pay attention to the speed, okay? Just because your machine can go fast, sometimes it doesn't mean you need to go fast or you should go fast. I like to go slow because it actually makes a difference in the quality of the embroidery. All right, so let me show you guys what I am talking about regarding the quality. I'm going to pull one out that I had already embroidered. I'm going to show this to you up front. As you can see, a lot of details. Okay, look at the way the embroidery stitched out. Okay, you don't see thread breaks or anything like that, or stitches being skipped and stuff. Sometimes when you fast forward and you embroider very quickly, you could have some stitches that actually skip, or you can end up having breakage with your thread. So you want to try to prevent that, all right? Because what you want is a nice, crisp, clean look of the embroidery, all right? So like I said, if you look on my screen right here, I have, my machine goes up to 1,000 stitches per minute, and what I did was I lowered the speed to 700. You can go lower if you want to. All right, so what I'm going to do now is the machine, the file is in there. I am hooped, so I am going to go ahead and I'm going to embroider the last one. And of course, I will fast forward this part, and I'll also put a little bit of music because, it is a 25-minute stitch out. See, as it says right there, it takes 25 minutes to stitch this whole thing out. And I'm sure you don't want to watch the whole 25 minutes. So I am going to fast forward this part, and then I'll show you how I actually finish off the product before giving it to the customer. Okay? Okay, guys, this one is finished. I still do have this one that needs to keep going. I did stop the machine though because I wanted to finish up this video for you guys and show you guys how I actually finish off these dinner napkins. All right, so I'm going to take this out and let's go over to the cutting table. All right, boop. Okay, I just wanted to cover that because I didn't want to make you guys dizzy as I move all the way around. All right. Now, a lot of times people ask me, what do you do to remove the stabilizer on the dinner napkin? Well, there was one time period where I used to put Tender Touch or cloud cover in the back of the embroidery. I don't really do that anymore because of the way the frames are shaped. They're kind of round, so when I remove the stabilizer from the dinner napkin, they do come out pretty clean, and I'm going to show you how. So let me pop these back. Sorry, I know that was kind of loud. So I'm going to turn this over. And I want to make sure that you guys can see. All right, so as you can see right here, looking at the back of the embroidery, it looks really nice, clean, and crisp. It really doesn't look bad the way it is. So usually what I do is I just rip off. Let me try to position this here. Like I said, I do need to get a new tripod so that it can hold the way I want it to. Let me just try to position this here, and hopefully nope, it's going to fall. All right, hold on, guys. Just give me 1 minute. So make sure, there you go. All right, so that you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. So as you can see, it's kind of like a round circle. So usually what I'll do is, this is tear away. So I will tear it until I get to this part of the embroidery. And then what I do is I usually put my hand on top of it. And then what I do is I go around it. So as you can see, it looks really nice and clean. And I just do it all the way around. Okay, now why do I end up putting my hand towards the stitches and then I go ahead and I tear? The reason why I do that is because you don't want to add added stress to your stitches. Okay, you just want it to be as clean as possible. So I just go ahead and I just do it this way. Okay, and as you can see, it looks pretty good. It looks clean. It doesn't look bad at all. I don't tear off this portion that's in here. This is actually going to come off in the wash. I mean, you can actually tear it off if you want to. I kind of leave it. It's really not a big deal. And then what I do is I just fold my dinner napkin. And then I will take it, once it's fully embroidered, I will take it to the iron, and then I go ahead and I just iron it straight. And as you can see, here are the other ones that I have. I still have the 6th one that's on the machine. I'll finish that off when I'm done with the video. But what I'll do is I'll just take the iron and I'll go ahead and I'll just iron these straight. And then I'll just package this up and I'll just send this to the customer and stuff. So this is really how I do my dinner napkins. They come out really, really nice. And as you can see, looking at the embroidery up close, you can actually see if the embroidery really looks good. It doesn't look, you know, it looks solid. And that's usually how I like my embroidery to look. And that's the reason why I say it's beneficial to really slow down this machine. You know, any machine that you're using, actually. I really feel that when you slow down the machine, you get better quality. Okay. I mean, and the way I look at it is, I mean, why rush? I'm not in a rush. I actually enjoy doing this. So, you know, I don't like rushing my products and stuff like that. So guys, hope you like this video. And if you do, please give me a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, consider subscribing. I'm all about sewing, embroidering, and other crafts. And I host Embroidery Happy Hour every Friday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where I like to cover a whole bunch of different topics in the world of embroidery and sewing. So I will talk to you guys later. You guys enjoy, and hope, you know, like I said, I hope you enjoy this video, and please give me a thumbs up. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.